Hi Foodsters! Today we are going to make a soft, moist and delicious as ever date cake. So let's get into the video. So the best part of this date cake is that you don't need to prepare by soaking the dates overnight. You can very easily make a soft date paste sort of thing in just an easy method. So here I've taken 500 grams of dates, that is it was 500 grams with the seeds on. So now here I've removed the seeds and I've chopped them into small pieces as well. And we're going to add 2 tablespoons of brown sugar and 2 to 3 tablespoons of water, and we are going to melt it over the stove top. So in the heat it will become a thick paste sort of thing that you can very easily mix into a butter cake batter. Keep it in a low flame because you might burn the dates. So you can see that it has formed this thick paste. If you want it a bit thinner than this, you can even add a bit more of water, but you need chunks in there. So next we are going to make the butter cake. In here I have taken 250 grams of margarine in room temperature, and we are going to beat it with a hand beater. And here I've taken 200 grams of granulated sugar that I ran through the grinder and got it into a powder because it saves time that way. We cream the sugar and the butter together until you get a very fluffy consistency. So you will achieve this consistency in a few minutes because we have already ground the white sugar. So as you can see, it's turned very pale and fluffy as shown here, and it's also increased in volume because you've beaten into it so much of air. And now we can add 4 eggs. So remember, always break your eggs into a separate dish and then add it to your cake batter one at a time, because either your eggs might be spoiled or you might get shell into your batter, which you don't want. And don't worry, as you keep adding the egg, the batter will seem to be curdling, but don't worry, as you add the flour, which is the next step, it will all come back together. And also make sure that you scrape down the sides of the board because those bits are very easily neglected. And now we'll add 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence and again beat it. And now we're going to add 250 grams of all-purpose flour in batches. So remember, don't on your beater immediately after you add the flour because it's just going to fly everywhere and you're going to get a flour cloud in the kitchen. So make sure that you mix it into the batter and then turn your beater on. And now you can see and also add the flour in small batches to make it easier to mix. If not, you're going to get huge clumps of batter. And make sure again that you scrape the sides of the bowl with a spatula or with a large spoon. Okay, so our batter is almost ready. You can see just how airy and fluffy and light it is. And to this we are going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 3 to 4 tablespoons of milk powder, and another 2 tablespoons of milk. I know milk powder is a very rare to find ingredient in Sri Lanka these days, so you can totally leave it out. I'm adding it because it adds very extra creaminess and milkiness to the cake. I've noticed it personally, but if you don't have it, it's totally fine. You can just leave it with the milk. And now we're going to add our date paste into the cake batter and combine it. So date cake is something very special to me because it is one of the first cakes that I learned to make. And this recipe is my aunt's, except for I modified it a little bit here and there because I feel lazy to kind of soak the dates overnight in bicarbonate of soda and then make the cake the next day. So that's why I came up with the whole melting it in the stove, and I found that way easier. Bake this guy at 180 degrees Celsius for around 30 to 40 minutes. And this cake is very versatile. As we know, Sri Lanka is currently in a terrible economic crisis, but at the same time we have 3 major festivals, Aurudu, Easter and Ramadan coming up, and this cake can be served in any of these festivals. So this is the cake. You can see just how soft it is. Yes, it got a tad bit burnt because there was a power cut and I kind of forgot to switch off the oven, and then when it came back it kind of slightly turned dark brown on the top, but it was perfect other than that, luckily. And you can see just how soft and moist and very crumby it is, and you can see the chunks of dates in it. And to make it extra festive, you can add some cashew nuts or some raisins in there. So I really hope you liked this recipe. It is a very versatile one and a very easy one for that matter. So I made this for my dad's birthday actually, because this is his favorite cake, and he tells that I make the best date cake in the entire world. So here you go, this is my brother doing the taste test. I hope you liked this video. If you did, subscribe if you haven't already, and also please keep praying for Sri Lanka. Hope to meet you soon through another video. Thank you very much. Bon appetit!